White Lightning is the signature attraction at Fun Spot Orlando. This Great Coasters International Woody is a fun ride on its own, but forever changed the course of the Fun Spot America parks. Find out why this ride was so important to this amusement park chain in this review. Until the 2010s, the Fun Spot parks were known exclusively for their go-karts. Both the Orlando and Kissimmee locations offered popular multi-level tracks that brought in tourists who were primarily in town for Disney and Universal. But Fun Spot wanted more. After purchasing an extra 10 acres of land for the Orlando park, Fun Spot wanted to add a roller coaster. After touring nearly 30 different parks and trying 50 different roller coasters, they selected Great Coasters International for their new marquee attraction. Originally, they were going to have GCI build a family wood coaster, but increased funds allowed them to build a full-size Woody. And for $3.5 million, I think Fun Spot got a lot of bang for their buck. White Lightning opened in 2013 and it was an immediate success. It led to Fun Spot rebranding their park as Fun Spot America. And the popularity of this ride led Fun Spot into adding large coasters at their other properties. Fun Spot Kissimmee received Mind Blower in 2017, which is a gravity group inverting wood coaster. Fun Spot Atlanta is receiving Airy Force 1 for 2022, which is a massive RMC hybrid coaster. Who knows what these parks would look like today without White Lightning? This coaster would run along the perimeter of Fun Spot Orlando. It's a basic out and back layout, but this placement is brilliant. It provides a great backdrop from within the park. It adds a lot of energy to the midways. Then the flurry of bunny hills attracts prospective customers from the roadway. The ride looks particularly sweet at night with those rainbow-colored chaser lights. The coaster features wood track and steel supports. The latter were selected to minimize maintenance. White Lightning runs 365 days per year for 12 to 14 hours per day. And you also have the harsh Florida climate. These are grueling conditions for a wood coaster. White Lightning was getting pretty bumpy in my fall 2018 rides, but has been running very well in my 2021 and 2022 visits because it has gotten some track work. This includes some standard wood retracking along with GCI's prototype Titan track. This all-steel track was designed to offer an even smoother ride experience. The section on White Lightning is very brief, but it proved the concept for GCI and it indeed was glossy smooth, and they've gone to add other coasters for the 2022 season. White Lightning is loosely themed to trains. You have some signage as you approach the ride both on the fencing and station. Then the front of the train looks like a locomotive. There's nothing else along the course, but the ride doesn't need it. Most days, White Lightning is a walk-on. The ride has Millennium Flyer trains, but they're super short. They have just 6 rows, seating a total of 12 riders per train. I have seen this ride run 2 trains on busy weekends, but typically the ride is going to run just 1 train, which is fine for the crowds this park gets. The restraints are pretty standard for a GCI. You have a shared seatbelt for each row, and then a T-bar for each rider. The latter will continuously ratchet downwards if you let it, so I recommend holding onto the lap bar once checked. White Lightning costs $10 per ride, but I recommend the wristband because you likely will want to ride the coaster a few times. I think the best seat is easily the back row. The airtime is stronger back there. Once dispatched, you ascend the 70-foot or 21-meter tall lift hill. You pass countless flags on the way up, and you can see the nearby Universal Orlando Resort on the ascent. Once at the top, you plunge down to the left. This twisting drop reaches a max angle of descent of 58 degrees, and it's one of GCI's best drops ever. If you're in the back, you get a strong pop of airtime and great lateral simultaneously. I wish more GCI drops offered sensations like this. If you ride at night, like I usually do, you'll then be blinded by the on-ride photo flash, and then speed through this little bunny hill that twists right. This hill offers a good jolt of laterals for all. However, the subsequent valley does have some very noticeable jackhammering. It's one of 2 rough spots on the ride that I hope are addressed in later years. You then climb up a double up. Everyone gets decent floater on the first hump. You lose a little too much speed over the top though, but you immediately go into a fun double down. The front gets 2 meek pops of airtime, while those in the back get good floater on the second hump. Next is the far turnaround. It's a rare hill on the ride offering no airtime nor laterals. It just changes your direction. The pullout does have some bad shuffling though. This is the other rough spot I mentioned. You then cruise over 3 consecutive bunny hills. You get solid floater up front, but those in the back get stronger and more sustained airtime, particularly in the first and second hills. This trio of bunny hills is followed by this hill that subtly twists leftwards and upwards. This results in a burst of airtime for those up front, with some laterals. The sensations are weaker towards the back, but still present due to all the speed. You then navigate another double down, but you only get some airtime in the back on the second hump. There you'll get a quick pop. Next is the speed hill that received Titan track. The hill itself rapidly lifts everyone out of their seat, but it has a little more power towards the back. This section is brief, but you can tell it rides differently than the rest of the coaster. It's extremely smooth and has a distinctive sound to it. You then zip around a turn around the lift hill and charge through another speed hill. This one rides identically to the prior one from an airtime perspective. You then have one last double up into the brake run. You're still traveling at a good clip, but this hill oddly offers no airtime. You just get some weak laterals into the final brake run. This ends the 2,032 foot or 619 meter long coaster. And despite that modest track length, White Lightning packs in plenty of airtime hills to offer a satisfying ride experience. This coaster only has a top speed of 44 miles per hour or 71 kilometers per hour, but it feels considerably faster. The train zooms through the layout and it barely feels like they've slowed down even by the end of the course. GCI designed the ride quite well given their height and space limitations. I think the ride compares quite favorably to their larger coasters because of how dynamic it is. I'm also not surprised that GCI has nearly cloned this layout twice because of how much it offers from a ride of its size. I rode one of these clones last year in Plopsaland Japan's Heidi the Ride. While the ride felt equally as fast, the airtime was far less pronounced. I rode this coaster in the summer after some rain, so those seemed like ideal conditions to experience it. So I think that one must just run weaker than the original. So what would I rate White Lightning? I would give this GCI an 8 out of 10. I really like this coaster's no-nonsense, action-packed layout. It is just one airtime hill after another, all taken at nice speeds. The ride is particularly good in the back, where the airtime hits harder. I love marathoning this coaster after a day at the larger parks. This is currently my favorite wood coaster in all of Florida. For the longest time, I preferred Mindblower at the Kissimmee Park. However, that coaster is running horrifically rough in 2022. I like Mindblower's layout and the power more, but that coaster isn't very rideable right now in its current condition. I really hope that coaster can get some TLC in the future. I know that ride isn't a GCI, but that's the ride that should have gotten the Titan track more than White Lightning. I'm all in favor of parks adding this track to fix rough sections on a coaster if it otherwise has a strong layout. So those are my thoughts on White Lightning and Fun Spot Orlando. What are your thoughts on this ride? Do you think it's as good as GCI's larger coasters? Let me know your thoughts on this ride down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, I'd appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you consider subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.